When a Minecraft minigame has existed as long as Glide, its history becomes something more than simple records. Hundreds of thousands of players have left their mark on Glide since 2017, with legendary innovations, ominous myths, and perfect stories.
I, Jittery, have been playing Minecraft actively since 2017.
All of these things I've seen and heard over the years have fascinated me, from community members and friends alike. And so, with working with the legendary player Mighty Machine 63, we've tried to gather as many secrets as we could find and put them in one place: the Glide Iceberg. Considering the size, this iceberg will be split into a two-part series, with explaining the first 4 layers in this video, and the final 4 in a separate video. So without further ado, let's begin with layer 1, the sky. The sky is the very first layer of the iceberg. This layer figures information that even if you have never played the game, you have probably heard of. Now, let's begin. Elytra. The Elytra was an item that was introduced into Minecraft in the 1.9 update. This update probably gave the idea of Bunji to make this Glide minigame,
Having previously got inspiration from Terra Swoop Force, which released in 2016.
The use of the Elytra in this minigame really grew the liking of the item, and people have tried recreating this type of minigame on Bedrock, but nothing comes close to this original minigame. Can You Beat My Time? Can You Beat My Time is a series that Stumpy Longnose created April 9th, 2017.
These videos have over 4 million views, which is the most successful Glide video to this day.
This video's probably got a lot of people into the Glide minigame if they haven't played it already. Bunji Studios. Bunji Studios is a company from Scotland who worked on the Legacy Edition on Minecraft in 2012. They created all 12 Glide maps when they added the Glide minigame. They also made other minigames, such as the Battle minigame and the Tumble minigame. Cavern. Cavern is the first and most popular Glide map, with it being free and having a wild world record history, with it having incredible world records. Its popularity comes from when Glide first released. Cavern was the first and only map you could play at the time.
Right now, the Cavern world record is a 54.150 by Pixel Crusher,
and was previously held by people like Mighty Machine, Wazza Beast, and Invicton. Invicton was a Glide player who was very active in 2017, with over 10,000 views on a lot of Glide videos, and gained a bit of a following throughout 2017 into 2018. Invicton is the main reason a lot of people in the current community found Glide, and even though he doesn't play a lot anymore, he will forever be regarded as one of the best in 2017.
Toycat. Toycat was a Minecraft Legacy content creator who made content for Glide. He was a part of the 4 vs 4 minigame with 4J, and even got access to the Glide maps early along with other content creators such as Stampy and Necro Soldier. He still recognizes the Glide community to this day and has seen all 12 present world records. Thank you, Toycat, for seeing this small community in 2025 and being fascinated by all the records being set after 8 years of Glide's release.
Glide is discontinued. In July 2017, Bunji announced that there will be no more updates to the game and released one final DLC map in August 29th, 2017. By then, Bunji officially stopped working on the game and began working on marketplace maps on Bedrock.
They ended up working on other Legacy editions for about another year, but stopped in late 2019. But ultimately, it was up to the Glide players to continue the minigame legacy
and push the records to their limits. 1x1 Cavern Oversight.
This refers to a shortcut that was found a few weeks after the game's release, on April 15th, 2017. Toycat and lots of other YouTubers made videos such as 40 seconds on Cavern and so on. It was eventually patched with glass a few weeks later and the leaderboards were reset because of this. With this, they made it so you had to pass every checkpoint in order instead of skipping them, so this was no longer possible.
Glide OSTs. Glide OSTs are the official song tracks that play whenever you play Glide. They were made by Gareth Coker, all of them still being available on Spotify to this day. Some songs are still actually used in popular Minecraft videos today.
It's also worth noting that years after Glide was discontinued, the Glide song was suddenly heard as a remix from the game Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
What is your favourite Glide OST? Have a listen and comment them in the description. Here marks the end of layer 1, the sky. We now go into layer 2, where these things are still known from outside players, but you will need to research more into certain topics. This is the surface of the iceberg. Unbeatable. This refers to when Glide pros put unbeatable in the title of their videos and thumbnails, such as just begun. These unbeatable times were beaten in days. It's funny to look back on how these world records at the time were supposedly unbeatable, but with some unbeatable runs, we've beaten them by over a second. An example of this is Dragon, where Just Begun got 53.4 with a glitched run, but in the 2020s it was beaten legit by Mario Man. Boost carrying. This is a mechanic that was discovered from the score attack mode and was used in world records in 2021. We discovered that we could carry the boost by doing multiple 360s, and when we carried the boost for longer, we found tons of different strats and different maps, and has revolutionised Glide world records to this day. Ghosts. Ghosts are built into the Glide minigame and was added shortly after the game's release. They appear after you set a new personal best in both time and score attack. Ghosts look like this, with a yellow outline and a pretty creepy face. Ghosts are really crucial for the Glide minigame, but it doesn't come with bugs, which we'll talk about later. Rank 1. Rank 1 refers to the top player on the Glide leaderboards. This person has the best time average and is considered first in the Glide Discord and in the world. As of 2025, Mario Man 3215 is considered the best player in the world and has been since 2021, but a lot of people are catching him, with him haven't gotten 12 out of 12 in multiple months with Pixel Crusher catching. PS4 leaderboard reset. Every year in January, the PS4 Glide leaderboards get reset for some unknown reason. It doesn't happen on the Xbox One and is a weird event that occurs every year, even after the game has been discontinued for years. Mighty Machine 63. This refers to the best Glide player who played Glide from 2017 to 2022. He dominated the leaderboards, having very impressive world records for the time. On sudden summer day in 2018, Mighty Machine was the first ever Glide player to get 12 out of 12 world records on every single map, though it lasted about 10 seconds as a Glide player named Graham Player took one of the records back on Kraken. This time was thought to be the shortest time someone ever held a Glide world record, and his legacy will live on forever as the best Glide player in the world for that time. Glide spreadsheet. This refers to the Glide spreadsheet that is used for the current Glide community. It has time averages for every player, total time, and our own custom ranks for people. It was made by Sylvie back in 2020 to keep track of everyone's PBs, and has grown into a massive spreadsheet with so many players on the sheet. With help from Glide player Commander and Hayuchi, the sheet is still updated whenever people post new PBs and ranks for the Glide Discord. If you want to find the spreadsheet, join the Glide Discord for more information. Weird Cavern Checkpoint. This refers to the 7th checkpoint on Cavern.
There's a phenomenon that occurs that happens between the 7th and 8th checkpoint.
When you respawn, you gain a little bit of speed. This doesn't happen in any other map and is the only speed boost you get when you die. You can hold this speed boost as well and everything too. Out of map discovery. This is where you can get out of the map in Glide. There's been tons of out maps that 4J didn't patch when making them, probably because they didn't know that you could keep boost by constantly 360. A Glide player named Commander took advantage of this and found over 100 different out maps for all 12 maps. There's a playlist in the description if you want to watch.
Glide tournaments.
Glide player Shots of Lead actually made the Xbox players do it themselves. This video likely being the first tournament that happened on Glide.
Back in October 2017, the Glide community organized a tournament with the best Glide players at the time, such as the Wazza Beast, It's Color, Tommy, Bazinga2319, and Claim Your Drake. There has been one other Glide tournament after this, such as the one in 2020 with players such as Mighty Machine 63 and Graham Player.
After finishing up the surface, we now come to the deep waters. These are Glide facts that you may not know of if you're not in the main Glide community or haven't looked deep into the game's code over the past 5 years. Without further ado, let's begin. Body's finish. Sometimes, when you finish the map in body, you don't actually pass the finish line. You hit the wall before the finish, and it counts. This can save very small time, but it isn't necessary for an 80-second map like body. This is the only map we know of that we can do this, and we wonder if it's possible on any other maps. Ult counts. Throughout Glide's history, there has been a lot of ult counts on the Glide leaderboards. This is either because the ghost was glitched from either past speed glitches, or the ghost was just glitched randomly, which happens. People also made ult accounts because they wanted to create a separate account for Glide, which we'll get onto later. People at the time were annoyed that people made ult accounts because they would fill up the Xbox leaderboards and PS4 leaderboards, claiming that these people were just the same people. Not PB.
This refers to a pro Glide player called Sire Butterfly, who used to upload insane runs such as a Strunk 114 when the world record was a 116. In the description or title of his videos, he put "not PB." This made Sai more intimidating than we all thought at the time, and we were skeptical if he even had the runs in the first place.
Speed glitch. Oh boy. The speed glitch is a phenomenon that happened in 2017 when people paused the game and then unpaused the game and hit a wall, making the player go really fast. This was used for many popular videos that you may have seen, such as Invicting's runs, which Toycat covered, and it made a lot of people quit due to how they completely ruined the leaderboards. Another one was discovered soon after the big one, with times such as a 57 on Cavern and a 52 on Dragon being set months after Glide's release. Luckily, in 2025, all speed glitch times from 2017 have been beaten legit thanks to these 360 and zigzag strats we found. Waterfall glitch. On the map Kraken, about halfway through the map, you can get a speed boost from going into this waterfall. This occurs because there is an extremely small gap between the waterfalls, and this causes a speed boost for some unknown reason. It saves just under a second, and is basically crucial for anyone with it, especially when the world record looks like this. Custom Glide maps. These are community-made Glide maps which are created with tools such as World Edit and then imported into Simu, a PC emulator that is used for the Wii U. The Glide maps itself are self-made, with some maps being Lighthouse, made by Offizias and Commander. In total, there are over 9 Glide maps that were made by the community. Two types of thermals. In Glide, there are 2 types of thermals. White ones lift you up a certain height, while blue ones lift up based on your speed and angle. The longer you stay in the blue one, the higher you will gain. Not many people know about this, but it is actually shown in the Minecraft hints when you load into a Glide game. Glide Champions. This refers to an Xbox group club created by ButtKicker11. This club included a lot of Glide players in 2017, and was a club to share records and other stuff. Buckkicker 11 was very notable in the Glide community, except he was the second person to get a 1 minute and 3 seconds on Cavern when Glide first released. Time glitch. This refers to a time in 2017
where AU in gaming found a game breaking time glitch.
where at the top of the screen it would say time till start. It's a weird glitch that was found in the speed glitch area of the game. People would get 3 seconds on Cavern and even 0 seconds. Invictin's video of him getting 0 seconds blew up because of this. It was eventually patched by 4J. Builds outside maps. This entry refers to when 4J built routes and structures outside the map, such as a different route on Cavern and Body, and some structures outside of Excalibur. Here's one I found in 2022. And Toycat also showed one off to the public on Cavern. We don't know why these exist, but we assume they were used with 4J's tool and they forgot to remove the structures after they were finished building the map. 4J Steve. This refers to a 4J employee who works at 4J Studios. He was the one who would tweet Glide news such as bug fixes and interact with the 2070 community. 4J Steve would pass on bugs from the community and patch glitches that were never found. 4J Steve was the head of 4J Quality Assurance at the time.
It's also worth noting that 4J dev called 4J Rory used to be the best 4J Glide player at the time, and had world records and even battled Toycat on the map Dragon.
Glide lobby out of map. This doesn't really come from the minigame itself, but what you used to do is when you came first in a Glide public game, you would get an elytra. You could have used the elytra to get into 1x1 gaps, and then you could get out the map by crawling down and out of the minigame lobby map. A lot of people like Toycat made videos on this.
Ghost hits. This is something that happens on Glide every so often, and it can depend on ping as well. Sometimes when you hit a wall or a ceiling, Mining Machines Dragon 54.501 for example, you wouldn't lose a heart. This is crucial for some maps, as with some maps you need to be able to hit a wall or a ceiling to help you go faster. This seems to happen more when there's a texture pack on the map, but it's something that's pretty much RNG and doesn't happen to the average player.
Pumpkin World Record runs. This refers to when a player named Bazinga2319 decided to do a world record run with a pumpkin on his head. You can get the pumpkin in the Glide lobby and keep it when playing a Glide round. You get limited vision and it makes Glide runs exceptionally hard to beat. Bazinga beat the Shrunk world record with a pumpkin in 2017,
as well as Tommy also doing a world record in Temple, which makes 2 of the only people in the world to do this.
and please don't try this at home. This is a terrible idea. Glide Infinity War. This is a mini-movie inspired by Infinity War that came out in 2020. A person in the Glide community named Wazza Beast decided to add Glide players to scenes in Infinity War by adding our profile pictures to the characters. It was a 3-part series with even its own trailer as well. It's a piece of Glide history showing the community in early 2019, and it's very fascinating to see to this day. Walking on the ground. Sometimes, when you're in a public Glide game, you lag so much to the point that you can walk on the ground for a few seconds before you die. This was probably due to ping, and was annoying if the host was hosting the server in the UK but you were Australian, making public times extremely difficult. This walking mechanic also happens at the end of the game when you DNF, but is intentional as you wait for another round to start. After finishing the 3rd layer, we finally come to the 4th and final layer of part 1, the depths. These are facts that even some long-time Glide players might not know, and even the Glide community today won't know some of these. So without further ado, let's begin with layer 4. 4-player split screen glitch. For the speed glitch, if you had 4 players on a split screen at a time in a public lobby, the speed would increase immensely. You can actually see it in Invictin's speed glitch 59 run here, and as you can see, there's a lot of different accounts with split screen and had +1 on the side of the name. It was patched when Canyon was released on July 25th, 2017.
Point 0. Point Zero was a Japanese Glide player and was one of the first we saw in the community. He appeared on the Xbox leaderboards in April 2019, setting a 58.80 when the world record at the time was a 58.74. We all thought that this couldn't have been legit, as he suddenly got a 58 with no video proof or interacting with the community. People tried reaching out to him, but after a while he ended up quitting the game and moving on to Mario Kart.
Texture glitch. This happened when sometimes, if you load into a map, maybe in public lobbies, with a texture pack such as Shrunken Dragon, sometimes these maps load in the wrong texture pack, making their own respective maps look very odd. We don't know why this happens, but it happened to a few people in public lobbies back in 2018 and 2019. Season Pass not being worth it. This refers to the DLC for the Glide minigame, and you could buy a Season Pass for all of the DLCs of the Glide maps for only £7.99. If you bought the DLCs one by one, it would actually cost less than the Season Pass, with a total of £7.17. Glide block updates. This refers to blocks in Legacy having weird hitboxes, and sometimes you can hit blocks when they are like 5 blocks away, such as Kraken, and sometimes you can go through blocks as well if you get close to them. It can get frustrating sometimes as it ruins some potential PB runs. It isn't a bug though, I think it's just a skill issue. GL. GL first started when the Wazza made an old account called Wazza GL. After some time, people did the same and made old accounts such as Jittery GL and etc. It was thought that GL means Glide or maybe Glide Legend, but it never really had a meaning. Ultimately, the GL accounts were there primarily to show everyone that you are a Glide player, and it's not a clan. Reverse maps. This first started when Jesper Grand made a video on completing Glide maps backwards. This wasn't really popular and was a fun thing to do for their accomplishment and of pure boredom. When people found out you could 360 multiple times, a few people probably started to do reverse maps when they were bored some random day. Old Glide Discord. This refers to the first ever Glide Discord made in late 2019 to 2020, ran by a Glide player named Brandbob at the time. After some heavy controversy with only a couple people in the community, around 10 to 15, the Discord was taken down and deleted. These are some of the only pictures remaining of the old Glide Discord. Alongside this Discord, there was also another one for Japanese Glide pairs. A community member called Sylvie then created another one and is the most popular and is still active to this day. Wii U can't look up. This refers to the console Wii U and Simu, where these are the only two platforms on Glide that can't look up. Xbox and PS4 can look up, same with PS5, and has some advantages on some maps on Dragon and Excalibur, and it can actually save some time. Check this video from Commander if you want to find out why Wii U can't look up. Glide end of round timer. If you waited on Glide for an hour on one map, then at the top of the screen, it will say time left remaining and you were DNF. This was implemented with the TU52 update, along with fixing the checkpoint bugs. It is an odd occurrence that happens, Forjo making sure you don't stay in the game forever. Retiming controversy.
This refers to an argument that occurred in early 2022 in the Glide community Discord. Two people wanted to change all PBs and world records to a certain time because of how ticks worked in Glide. These people wanted times to be down to the nearest 0.05 because of the ticks. This picture explained it well. This was heavily disliked by a lot of people in the Glide community and was eventually dropped and the time stayed the same. This argument was probably one of the biggest dramas on the Glide Discord at the time, since the old Glide Discord had got deleted in 2020.
Down, down, down. This refers to when a popular Glide player named Jesper Grand would post Glide videos, and in every single one of his videos would play this song by Share Factory, and no other song. In 2018, it became a meme in the small glide community, and when he was mentioned, people would go down, down, down.
Glide on Java. This entry refers to the fan-made minigames that have been made on Java. In 2018, top players wondered what Glide would be with a keyboard and mouse, and if it would be an advantage or not. Some even brought mouse adapters to play with a mouse on the consoles editions of Minecraft. 6 years later, in 2025, Snoob, Sensei Wells and Cryptonauts made significant progress on the creation of Glide on Java, and a server was made to host Glide. Fast forward to today, there's a mod by Jab125 that has the Glide minigame on Java. It's comparable to a Simu emulator, and you can play it with a keyboard and mouse. The leaderboards for this mod are separate to the main leaderboards. Here's the trailer if you want to check it out. Glide on Java is also comparable to the Simu emulator, which means you can't do flicks. Cross Singer's 27-second cavern. This refers to when the second out-of-map shortcut was found, which was filled with videos from Toycat and Retro. When watching Retro's video, at the end of the video we see Cross Singer has a 27-second time on cavern. This was insane at the time because a 33 on this map was very good and it blew up. But cutting off 5 seconds from this time was unbelievable. Apparently, this run was with the time glitch, but it wasn't known to the public yet. All we know is that Crossed finished the cavern run and his time mysteriously changed to 27. Glide Champion and Glide Pro Champ. Glide Pro Champ and Glide Champion are two Xbox alt accounts. The idea was essentially to make an Xbox Glide account for multiple Glide people. Glide Champion, which appeared in 2017, was the first of the two. It consisted of the best Glide players in the world at the time, such as the Wazza Beast, Kala, UK, also known as Tommy, and Bazinga. Glide Pro Champ, on the other hand, was an Xbox account that was made in late 2018 to early 2019, and it was made by a few Glide players at the time, such as Pizza Beef, Bankrupt Cart, me. The idea was, when the leaderboards reset, you had to register a time and it had to be better than your old previous time. It was also used for players to use other players' ghosts, since at the time we did not know how to share ghosts how we can on emulator now. This account was also made during the speed glitch era, and there was a bunch of speed glitched ghosts. None of these accounts are used today, and they've become a long distance memory for a few older community members. Odd milliseconds. Usually in Glide, most previews are done with either end in 0.000, 0.001, 0.49, 0.50, 0.051, or 0.99, as you can see from the Glide spreadsheet. But sometimes, for unexplainable reasons, some people get random milliseconds, such as these numbers and quite a lot more. In world records this has happened too. These have happened since Glide's release, and though odd numbers were very common when they were active due to pausing, they still appear to this day. PS4 0-second glitch. This weird phenomenon happened when Glide released, and it got patched with the release of Beast. A weird glitch that happened where thousands of PS4 players got 0 seconds on the Glide leaderboards. This wasn't possible to do with like time glitches, as it was exceptionally hard to get a 0-second time flat, with some people getting low as a 0.87 by Invicton. This did not occur on Xbox or any other legacy consoles.
And that concludes all 4 layers from the first part of the iceberg. What was your favourite fact that you never knew about? Leave them in the comments. What facts do you think will be in part 2? Here's a hint for one of them. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.